We are in the portion of Noach. The sun is entering today into the sign of Scorpio as well. And again, Scorpio is intense. Scorpio is powerful. Scorpio is desire. We are talking a lot. We spoke a lot about desire also last week. When Scorpio is coming, we feel suddenly that we have the power to conquer, that we have the power to do, because Scorpio bring with it that strength, Mars energy. It rules by Mars as well, and we want to. We really feel that we can achieve. We really feel that we can do more. Even though Mars, the planet that rules Scorpio, is in retrograde, okay, and also Mercury in Scorpio is in retrograde. So we're going to have them sometimes in the next month coming together, probably in 2 weeks from now, or no, you know what? No, but not this week. So we're going to talk about it. They're going to come together. But this week, that sun in Scorpio, very powerful sun that wants to move forward, that wants to conquer. But you know what? The thing about Scorpio, and we're going to see very soon how it's related to the month of to the portion of Noach. Scorpio wants everything, and we learned that Scorpio doesn't have that center column. They want and they take and they grab, unless they really know how to do restrictions. So they're controlled by right column and left column. They're missing that center column. And this is where all the problem in Scorpio begins. Because if you take Scorpio by itself, it's powerful, it's intuitive, it's deep, it has constantly, it has the energy of ending something and starting something new without feeling, I lost something. If they see their next goal and they're going and they're achieving and they're conquering. The thing is, like, they don't know, they don't know how to do it with what we learn in Kabbalah, the restriction. It means to create that center column, that balance. That's, yes, I want it, but I don't want it from the outside. I want it from the inside. I want it real. But in order for me to get it from the inside, I need to say stop for the outside just for a second, to see how to do it, and not to step on people's foot, and not to, kill everyone on your way to your goal. And the reason why sometimes they do that, I'm not trying to hurt you, Scorpios, but sometimes, when you have a target, when you have a goal and you know that you want to achieve it, you don't really care who's in your way, even though it's a water sign, and water sign is mercy. We learned that the flood, in the portion of Noach, the flood that came to earth, the water was burning so hot that it peeled, the skin out of the people, because they was so hot, and because that energy of Scorpio is very hot, if we don't know how to calm it down and to bring the mercy into it, it's burning. Okay, so yes, it's a water sign, but try to put like a water and fire, together. It's like a volcano. Like everything is outside is bursting, and inside is, is building up and building up and building up until it's like blow, like fire. So it's either inside or it blows like fire. And we really need to learn how to tame that energy so we can use it. So in one hand, we need to look for our biggest desire, biggest desire. What do I really want? How do I achieve it? How do I conquer it? And on another hand, how to find a way to get there without being burned, without hurting anyone else, without controlling, without grabbing and taking. Okay, and if we know to find that center column, then that month is really, really powerful. There's no holidays. We've just been through all the holidays. It's considered to be Kabbalistically a negative month. But every negativity has the option to become positive, right? It's Mar Cheshvan, bitter Cheshvan, or Ram Cheshvan, elevated Cheshvan. And like I said last week, it could be the eagle or the scorpion. You can look at things from above and conquer it, but you don't need to be that scorpion that sting someone. And worse, if they feel that they cannot achieve, they sting themselves. It's a complete suicide. I know someone that was very, very successful, that was Scorpio. And very successful until something, for many, many years, until something happened. And he made a business that didn't really go through and it failed. And for 5 years, that person was on the ground. You couldn't pick him up. It was like, that's it, I give up. Suicide, not physically, but the soul is complete. There's no desire. There's completely given up. And that's what we want to find now. We want to find now that the sun is entering into Scorpio, and on Sunday it's going to conjunct Mercury. Mercury is the power of thoughts. It's in Scorpio. It's in retrograde. It's conjunct the sun. When Mercury and the sun together, it's like the thought process, and the sun is me. So it's very self-centered, it's because Mercury thinking about the sun, what I want, what I need. So when they're coming together, the energy is even stronger. Okay, it's an ability, because the Mercury is in retrograde. So like we said last week, it's ability to go deep and ask ourselves very deep questions. So it's enough that we are stopped to ask ourselves questions before we are like, let's do it, and it's great. The energy of I want, it's amazing. It's like when a person on one hand needs to know that he belongs to a society, that a person cannot do whatever they want. If someone feel like going naked in the street, they cannot do it because it's inappropriate, and he needs to go to jail, right? Because he lives in society. But how do I find that balance between the society, okay, and what and who am I and what do I want? How do I become the individual, free, independent person that I want to be within the society? Okay, so many times it will be my way or the highway. That's a Scorpio way, right? And no, the truth is no. So we need to find the power and the desire that we have within us, but also remember that we belong to society. And for many months we are talking about that Capricorn, Quovid, the trio, the trio of Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter in Capricorn, that is authority and society, and squaring Mars, that it's me and what I want. But now the Scorpio bring that element of the deep, it's like that tremendous amount of desire. So how do I build a unique me, but without hurting society? To bring the desire from the inside out and not from the outside in. If we're reading the portion of Noach, we need to understand, we just had the portion of Bereshit, right? The creation of human being, the creation of Adam and Eve. And they sinned and they went out of the Garden of Eden. And 10 generations after, it's the generation of Noach. Noach was born 10 generations after Adam. When the evolution of people, it's already, there's a lot of people, there's communities, there's families, like the world is big now, because before the time of the flood, a woman didn't have to really wait 9 months to give birth. She would get pregnant, she would give birth, and she would give birth to multiple children, very easy. And when the children was born, they were born, like an animal, that's just standing on their feet immediately. So the children that were born walking and talking, and they were talking the holy language, which is Hebrew. All right. So they, everything was like cause and effect was like chick-chack. We came here to remove bread of shame, but the Creator really did it with mercy. He didn't really throw us the way, today we don't feel that divine hashgacha, protection. We don't not necessarily feel it. I mean, you really need to work to feel that divine protection that we have, and we do have. But today, after so many reincarnation, we accumulate so much negativity that we have so many klipot that it's hard for us really to connect. But in the time of Noach, each person lived 900 and something years, right? Noach lived 950 or 960 years. But people needed to plant seed in the ground once every 40 years, because they plant the seeds in the ground, and the land just gave them fruit and vegetables and whatever they needed. They didn't really need to work hard. They had everything. Their body, their physical body was more enlightened. They had more light physically in their body, and they were a little taller than us today. It says in the Midrash that the tigers looked at human being as a giant, even though Adam went way, it was much more before the sin of Adam, and Adam shrinked, but not enough until today, only after the flood. So they really, really had everything, and it says in the Midrash that they made a lot of sins, and they did all kind of things. I don't want to go into what they did because it was pretty nasty, but the one thing the verdict was כתוב לא נחתם גזר דינם אלא על הגזל, ואף על פי שהם עשו הרבה חטאים, and even though they made so many sins, I mean, they had everything. They literally had bread of shame. There was no effort. They had everything. They lived for so many years. They didn't feel like, oh my God, I need to grow. I'm already like 50 and I don't know what's going to happen to me. They lived until 900 and more. But לא נחתם גזר דינם אלא על הגזל. The verdict didn't happen only because the gezel means to steal. To steal. They used to steal from one another. It's like, it's not enough what they had, and they had everything. But it says in the Zohar, actually, that first, it says also in the Midrash, and then it says in the Zohar, it says also in the Midrash that they used to steal from one another, and they used to fight with one another. שהיו חסרים כל היסודות, הרי היה מוכרח להיחרב. Yeah. That is one of the things that the Creator despised, is stealing. So at the beginning, they did it very quietly because they didn't really want people to know that they do that. And then slowly, they did it in front of the Creator. And when we look, when we look at our life, how Satan is really working. Because Satan, first of all, is not going to come and say, hey, steal. Because it's not right to steal, right? But you can go, I don't know, sometimes it happens to me a lot. I go to the supermarket and I see that they missed something, and my battle is like, oh, what the hell? It's a supermarket. They're big. Who cares? But I always fight with myself. No, because this is the things that we are falling for, And I was like, excuse me, you didn't put my milk in the bill or something like that. It happens. And it's very important, these things, to always be honest. Because the stealing is one of the things that the Creator really, really despise and don't like us to do. And many times it can be stealing money or stealing energy. Sometimes when we are very, very angry and we feel like we need to vent. Okay, I remember that for every little thing that bothers me, I used to pick up the phone, call a friend, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? And it's like, it's fitting. And then the other person, you're talking Lashon Hara, and then you make the other person upset, and you take their energy. Today I really learned, I'm sure I'm doing it once in a while, but um, we learned that when I feel whatever I feel that angry, deal with it. I'm dealing with it with myself. First of all, I'm breathing. I understand it's coming from the creator. I'm trying to understand why am I going through this. And then if I still need to talk to someone, then I can call but already what I'm calling is gently, is not complaining, I'm not trying to take and steal the energy of someone else. והוא שאמר רבי שמעון, כל אדם שאינו רעה, עין המשחית שורה עליו. Everyone who has the evil eye, everyone who has the evil eye, the angel of death is taking over him. And why is that? When we really want to be happy for other people, even though it's hard, because right now they have something that I don't have, and maybe it's threatening me in one way, or maybe it's, I feel uncomfortable, but even people with love, especially parents sometimes, that they judge their children, or they judge their spouses, or people that we love. Every time that we're judging, we have evil eye on someone. And the moment we have evil eye is like we're stealing something from them. We're stealing something from ourselves too. All of these things that it doesn't look like a big deal, this is stealing. It's shelo again, that the verdict happened because of stealing. And many times we steal our own time. We're wasting our time. And guys, the idea is not to feel guilty here. I'm stealing time because I'm watching a nice series that I like. That's not the idea. But if we have the consciousness of, I want to watch TV because I need to recharge and I really need to relax, and it's okay, but I feel that I'm like, too much time spending on nothing, then I really want to try to get out of there. And so if I watch 3 episodes in a row, maybe after 3 episodes, I want to get up and do something else. So all that waste, because the world is made of midah keneged midah. How to say it in English? I never thought about it. Like, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, like midah keneged midah. And if we are stealing, then the universe is stealing away from us as well. Okay, and we know that there's always justice. There's always justice in the world. So if we feel that we don't have something, we really need to pay attention. Maybe we are not putting the energy that we need to put where we need to put it, or maybe we are taking energy that doesn't belong to us. So it's something that we really want to pay attention, because it happens to us now, especially when the energy is very intense and we are not getting the things that we want to get, and we're trying to grab it. And with the energy of Scorpio coming in, it's like we have to have it. But the Rav is talking about Noach, and the Rav is saying that the word Noach, it's nun chet, okay, and the opposite is chet nun. All right, which is chen, which is the chokhmat nistar. And because it's the opposite, it's basically the restriction. The people of the world in the time of Noach, they didn't have any restriction. They didn't even care about the rules of the creator. And you need to know that back then, people knew about the rules of the creator much more than we know today. They were a very, very spiritual people. And what does it mean by spiritual people? Because they didn't have so much klipot like we have, like in our generation, too many reincarnation, too many klipot that we accumulated. They were pure, right? So they knew all the secrets of the Hebrew letters. They knew how to swear angels. They knew, their knowledge, not brain knowledge, like divine knowledge was divine. They were very, very high elevated souls. But they chose to ignore it. And many times we can see that when we're talking about spirituality, it has nothing to do with how much knowledge do we have? We can read Zohar all day long, and we can learn, and we can have so much. We can learn 10 luminous emanation, which is amazing. This is amazing Kabbalah, and we can learn all the sfirot by heart. And sometimes we feel that we meditate and we can really see things very vividly. But how the Rav say all the time, it's all about consciousness, because it's not about the talent. It's not about what you have. It's about what are you doing with it. Because they had all this knowledge, they thought that they're better than the Creator. And this is actually what happened after. After Noach, another story in this portion is the story of the Tower of Babel, the Babylon Tower, right? That the people of the world, they wanted to build a tower, or Migdal, a tower, up to the sky. What does it mean? They want to create a fight with the Creator. What do you mean they wanted to create a fight? They wanted, literally, it says they wanted to fight with the Creator. What does it mean to fight with the Creator? It was 25 kilometers high. I don't know. It says that in the Midrash. In the Midrash, it says that it took them a year just to go to the top. They didn't even care about people, because if a brick fell, they used to cry, because now they had to retake all that brick so high, and they had to work so hard to take it up. But if a person failed, they didn't really feel so sorry about him. I mean, there's terrible story in the Midrash about what really happened. But thank God we know that the Torah is not really stories, and we know the secret above it. But what they wanted, because they had a lot of knowledge, because they had the knowledge of the Hebrew letters. And we know that the Hebrew letters, in the right combinations, in the generation of back then, when the people were very pure, could create miracles. They didn't even have bricks. They had ashes, and from ashes, with the Hebrew letters, they used to build bricks. So they really could create magic with the Hebrew letters. And because they had that power, and they knew how to swear angels, and we know we can never ever swear angels. That's very, very dangerous thing to do, and I know people are doing it, and we really need to be careful to swear an angel. But they knew how to do that. So they wanted to go to the level of Bina. They were trying to elevate from Malchut to Bina, to control Bina, so they don't have to go through bread of shame, so they don't have to go through this restriction. They wanted straight light. Because they thought they don't need God. They declare war of God, of the Creator, because they thought that they have all the knowledge, they can create magic. They know the magic of the Hebrew letters, so they don't need the Creator, because the Creator only gives them rules and restriction and, things to do, and they didn't want to do that. They just want to grab the energy. Therefore, the Creator switched their language. What does it mean, switch their language? He took away the ability to speak Hebrew or to know the power of the Hebrew letters. And this is where all languages started, because it says in the Torah that before it happens, all human beings and everybody spoke one language. If we don't have the right consciousness, it doesn't matter what gifts do we have. They could rule the world. They had all the tools. They had everything. They knew everything. And we were saying, okay, yeah, those back generation, they were more spiritual because they were pure soul. So they were pure soul, but they were not spiritual. Okay? Because a spiritual person is a person who's willing to go through the process. And going through the process is the returning light that we need to practice in this lifetime. This Saturday we have Venus in Virgo, right? Trying Saturn in Capricorn. So both, again, Venus in Virgo. Venus in Virgo is about seeing the details. Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn rules Capricorn. very strong. And so maybe what we can do this weekend, that we have the Mercury and the Sun together in Scorpio when Mercury is in retrograde, and Venus and Saturn will trine together. We can see where in life we can take action. Let's say we can dig into our biggest desire, right? We can even do a workshop. Why not? I mean, between us and ourselves, check on our biggest desire and what do we really want, and then try to come with a plan of, how to make it happen. Use that energy of Venus and Saturn together in a harmony, to see the details, to see how do I take responsibility, to see what is it that I need to make an effort, how I can do the extra mile, which is Noach is also comfortability, and we talk about it for years. Noach is to get out of comfortability, right? To get out of the comfortable zone. So how do I do that? By taking responsibility, by seeing, how can I manifest it slowly, one step after another, without going and grabbing. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm trying to control and manipulate and be nasty, because it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't have to be that way. So so we have that. And then on Tuesday, we have two planets changing. We have Mercury goes back into, because it's backwards, right? So it's going back. I just want to see that. I wrote it down so I'm not making mistakes with dates. I'm not good with that memory. On October 27th, Mercury is going back to Libra. Okay, but it's in retro, so usually the sign after Scorpio is Sagittarius, but because it's backwards, it's going back to Libra. And exactly on that date, Venus also goes into Libra. Okay, but that's already happened on Tuesday. So here, I have a plan for you for the weekend, for all of us, right? So on the weekend, to really see, to check our biggest desires, to check what do we really want, what else is coming towards that I really want in life, and try to come with a plan how to make it happen, with restriction, with responsibility, with not being afraid to work hard. Okay, many times, when we are dedicated, like Scorpio is dedicated. If he wants something, he's dedicated, he's going to work day and night, good way or bad way, doesn't matter, but he's going to, he's gonna work for it. He's gonna work towards his goal. And with the energy of manifestation of Venus in Virgo and Saturn in Capricorn, to really see, how do I take it further? How am I, stopping the automatic, how we always run on automatic, we run on treadmill, we run fast on treadmill and we're not really moving. So we can do that, and then on the 27th, on Tuesday, when Mercury goes back into Libra and Venus goes to Libra. I mean, look at Venus. Venus was in Virgo, still in Virgo until Tuesday. She's not happy there because Virgo is a little tough, is detail-oriented, it's a little rigid, and Venus is love and harmony and fun and creativity. So when Venus will go into Libra, it will give us some creative, aspects to see. Whatever, next week is already the portion of Lech Lecha. But on Tuesday, we'll see how the energy is softening, is getting soft. Even though the sun is still in Scorpio and, the energy is soften up. It gets a little bit easier. Maybe not so much until the mid-November, but the energy will get a little bit easier. We can find a conversation pleasant with people. We can put expectation, like I always like to say, we put expectation on the table, because it's not only about, like I said before, it's what I want. It's also the people are surrounding, the people that we are living with. So Libra is about putting expectation on the table, having conversation about what do you expect from me? What do I expect from me? What I'm expecting from you? Can we do it? Can we really have a nice civilized conversation about how to get along together? And when we're really happy for someone else, and we really want someone else to be successful, and we're not trying to the like the Zohar says, you know, the guy with the bad eye, right? And the Zohar also said, if you know that someone is not doesn't want something good for you, don't tell them anything and just run away. Now, what does it mean? Like, you know, if you know that someone is having financial, I don't know, issues, and you just did so great somewhere, like you made a great deal, you don't have to go and wave it in someone's, you know, face, because what's going to happen automatically, even if the person loves you very much, you know, as much as we want to be spiritual people, it will be very hard for that person to be happy for you. Anyways, so the energy is getting a little, even though Scorpio is intense, I think by next week the energy is a little bit softer, but we can use this weekend. We can use this weekend to plan, to find the balance between our biggest desire and the returning light. You know, it's like, how do I do it with restriction?